Hey, good morning. Happy Friday. Oh, I hope you had a beautiful week. It's absolutely beautiful morning down here at the beach. Got off to a little late start. Owen's wondering why we're going for a little late walk. But listen, I got 3 B's to share with you if you want to have a fat-free weekend. Well, what are you talking about, Mark? What the heck is a fat-free weekend? I'm going to share with you where most people get in trouble, put on extra weight over the weekends. They get a little weak over the weekends. They become their weekends. They do real well, right? Maybe you're this person. Do you resonate with this? Are you that person that does really well maybe on Monday? You start on a good path Monday. Maybe you even did some meal prep. You even maybe did some workouts. Tuesday went okay. Maybe Tuesday was okay. Wednesday, maybe you got thrown off course. You had to do something at work, or maybe your kids had something they needed, or you forgot to go shopping, or maybe something got in the way. Maybe you had some stress in the family. You got things, right? Stuff, busyness got in the way. And then Wednesday kind of started to take a turn for the worse. Thursday came around. Then you're like, can the weekend get here? And then the weekend's here. And then you're like, why bother? Let me just wait. Let me just start up fresh on Monday. Then you just kind of blow it out. So your early signs and early start. That's why Mondays are like the days everybody starts their diets. Nobody wants to start on a Friday, but the 3 B's, I got 3 B's for you. And I say fat-free weekend. If you want to stay on track over the weekend, if you don't want to put on the extra pounds, if you want to keep your body in check, if you want to actually be consistent in your weight loss efforts. Now, if you don't have any weight to lose, this message really isn't for you. If you're on a healthy path right now, if you're not struggling, if you have your workouts dialed in, if you have everything in your life, if you're feeling like you're the healthiest you've ever been at the season of life that you're in, this message is not for you. But if you have been struggling for any length of time, maybe months, maybe you put on the CV19 over this past year, maybe you've been struggling for the last 5 or 10 years. A lot of times I talk to people who reach out for my help, and they've been struggling for more than a decade or so. And hey, Mark, I've been struggling my entire life. Doesn't mean they haven't had success, but they've struggled. They're still struggling with the same 40, 50, 60 pounds. If this is you, if this is resonating with you, I want to help you through the weekends right now. Okay, so B, the first B to having a fat-free weekend, and this can apply all through the week, not just on your weekends. Come on, boy, stop. He's like pulling me. Now, I have this leash, which is not like the best for keeping control of a big dog. So the first B is you got to believe. You got to believe in yourself. Now, the hard thing is a lot of times people that have been struggling for any length of time don't believe in themselves anymore. Mark, I've tried. I've tried every diet that's out there. I've tried holding myself accountable. I've tried even gym memberships. And I just don't believe that I can do it. Well, you can. You got to have some belief in yourself. If you are still trying, believe enough to keep trying, even if you failed many times, if you had mistakes in the past. You know, the good news is you're still trying. Keep trying. Some of the best success stories that I've had in my coaching program have been from people who have tried and failed, and they didn't find the solution until later in life. And I want to encourage you, you can. But you got to believe in yourself enough to at least get through one weekend. And how do you do that? So the first thing is you got to believe that you can do this. I want to encourage you can do this, especially if you have the right help. Now, you might not have any kind of help. And that might be an opportunity for you to get the kind of help that you need. But let's go into the second B. So the second B, once you believe that you can actually succeed and not put on weight over the weekends and not put the fat on over the weekends from the excess, maybe calories, excess booze, excess food. Maybe you just want to like relax and enjoy and kick back, and that's cool. And you can do that. But if that's part of what's getting you in the way, you're probably going to need to make some changes. So the next thing, the second B is you got to behave. So the first one is you got to believe. Number one, the first B is believe in yourself. The second B is behave. Well, I'm not saying that you have to cut all kinds of fun out in your weekend, but let's just think about this. What happened last weekend? Maybe today you can think about what happened last weekend. How did you not behave so much on your weight loss path? The water is so nice and warm. But my dog is not a water dog, so he's like, Dad, what are you doing? You want to go for a swim? Want to go for a swim? He's like, no. See, he's shaking his head. No, I don't want to go for a swim. Let's get this walk underway and get home and you can feed me. Dogs have it easy, right? Can you imagine if you just had one type of food? Yes, would it be boring? But look, he doesn't have a weight issue. He gets exercise. He eats his bowl of food. Yes, we give him some table scraps here and there. Dogs have it kind of easy. Anyway, so let's get back to it. I kind of was digressing there. The second B is behave. How are you going to behave? Well, you got to ask yourself this very important question. What do you want most? What do you want most? A little gratification that's going to last for the length of the time that you're eating that cupcake, or you're diving into that bowl of ice cream, or you're having that third or fourth glass of wine? Guess what? It doesn't last. It doesn't last, right? Here's the thing. You got to behave. If you want to actually see change and feel change, you got to make some changes. So how to behave? Well, again, if you don't have the support and accountability or even know how that looks, you probably would be a good idea for you to get the help that you need. I might be of help with that. The only way to know is if you and I connect. If you want, reach out and we'll connect. So the third B, the third B is honestly probably the most important. And it's this: just be. Just be yourself. Be yourself. Don't try to be somebody you're not. Just be yourself. You're like, well, Mark, being myself is what got me in trouble. Well, not if you don't feel yourself. Think about this. If you go into your weekends, and you're like, Mark, I never feel good over the weekends. I always feel guilty, or maybe I feel good for the time I'm eating that cupcake or drinking that glass of wine, that third glass of wine, or just feeling like my energy, I feel like I got to just recover. The reason why, chances are, your energy is in the crapper and you feel so terrible about yourself is because of what you're doing to yourself. And that's that you're not being yourself, not at least the best that you can be, right? So you want to be the best that you can be, then you got to just be. In other words, again, and maybe I'm getting a little bit too deep here, and I hope it's not, because it's truly the things that I see that people actually get caught up in. They start trying to be somebody that they're not. So here's the deal. Going into your weekends, if you want to have a fat-free weekend, this is it. If you want to have a fat-free weekend, you got to first believe in yourself. Listen, if you can believe in yourself, then guess what? You can be yourself, right? The hard thing is when we've over years built habits that aren't you. They're not the real you, not the true you, not the you desire that's maybe hiding under 40 or 50 pounds of fat, right? The B, you want to be able to go out, maybe go for a swim or a bike ride on the beach or a run, or take your dog for a long walk, or go on a nice vacation with your family, or, be in those holiday pictures or vacation pictures instead of being the one behind the camera because you hate the way you look and feel. That's not being you. That's being an artificial you that it's time to change. It is time to get those layers of guilt, of shame, of disappointment. Yes, layers of fat too, right? Hiding behind a lot of those layers of fat are all those emotions that I hear people talk about. And hey, I'm not the psychologist here. I just do know that when you start to take better care of yourself, when you start to get the weight off, when you start to feel good in your body, in your own skin, when you're able to maybe take your shirt off, guys, at the beach, or to wear a bathing suit, or even just being comfortable in your own clothes, guess what? You can be more of who God created you to be. You have an image of God, and not to say regardless of your size, it doesn't matter as far as God, but I know if He only gave us one body to go through life with, don't you think He wants us to treat it with some decency and respect, and to actually take good care of the one body? It's not like a car where you can just, trade it in for a new one, or like a dog leash when it gets to, the dog leash, if this one wears out, I'll just get a new one. You only got one life to live. You only got one body to go through life with. God wants you to actually take good care of yourself. Think about that. Anyway, I hope this helped. The 3 B's. So you got to believe, right? You got to behave, and then just be. You got to just be. Take care. God bless. Talk soon.